All right, everyone, we're back on the docket. I'm Judge Jackie Powell, and this is Magistrate Court. We're going to start with the first appearance docket. For those of you on the first appearance docket, I have read these probable cause affidavits, and I will let you know when I call you up if I've determined probable cause, and then we'll also talk about release conditions. Today is not your trial date, so I encourage you not to talk about your case on the record, especially if you plan on going to trial with this case. If you are represented by the Public Defender's Office, I do have an attorney from the Public Defender's Office in the courtroom, and also over at the main jail, there's an attorney from the Public Defender's Office. When I call you up, if you are represented by that office, those attorneys will speak on your behalf, and I encourage you to, if you want to say anything, to speak with your attorney first before you say anything. For those of you who are represented by private counsel, the private attorneys come to the courtroom and they'll be able to speak on your behalf. If your attorney's not here and you have a private attorney, you can also let me know. We will see how we can accommodate that. With that said, I want to let you know that if you have not retained an attorney, please don't say you have. Please don't ask us to make a phone call, and then when we call the attorney, then they tell us that they're not representing you. We had a lot of that this morning. If you had an attorney who represented you in the past, it does not mean that they're representing you here today. So unless you or your family have retained them for representation today, please don't tell us that you have a private attorney, okay? All right, the state attorney's office is also represented in the courtroom, and those attorneys will be able to tell me what they want to tell me in regards to the case. I also have confinement status, pretrial supervision in the clerk's office. We have all those people in the courtroom to facilitate us going through this process, all right? We will start with Meredith Brown.
She's on the phone with Mr. Reedy, Your Honor.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, okay,
No problem.
all right.
Come here, come here, come here. Stand right here. Yeah, I got it.
All right, Ms. Brown, you are before the court for a DUI charge, and the court does find probable cause.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'll hear from the parties as to bond.
Judge, I'm going to ask the court to consider pretrial release for Ms. Brown. She's a lifelong resident of South Florida. She owns her own home. She had her own business. The only contact that she's had with the criminal justice system in the past, from what she tells me, is some withheld adjudications. This is her first DUI offense, and I think she'd be a very good candidate for a pretrial release.
Okay, State?
The state would have no objection. We would just ask for no alcohol, no intoxicants, and a TAD monitor.
Judge, I don't think she needs a tab monitor, but we would agree to no alcohol. And random testing.
All right, Ms. Brown, the court will release you to pretrial supervision. That's going to include random testing. The deputy will give you the information for pretrial. You must report, today is Friday, so Monday, you need to make sure that you show up and report and follow whatever directions pretrial has for you. Failure to do so, a warrant will be issued for your arrest.
So I follow these instructions right here?
Yes,
Get
ma'am.
you on my day. Thank
Yes.
you very much. And I'll be released today?
You should be.
Yes,
Thank
it's
you.
just that when you're released, maybe by the time you're released, pretrial office will be closed, okay?
So I can get there
So-
on Monday?
So on Monday, yes.
Yeah, make sure you go, Meredith.
I'll definitely go, but I'll be released today on Friday?
Yes, you'll be released today on Friday.
Thank you, ma'am.
That's okay.
All right.
Erica Contreras?
Good luck, Meredith.
Judge, Your Honor.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you,
She's a-
lawyer. Thank you,
You're
Mr.
welcome.
Reedy.
Is Ms.
No, Mr.
Contreras?
Reedy.
Ms. Contreras is where?
She's a medical reason.
She's a medical reset?
Yes.
Okay, all right. She's a medical reset. Joanne Hernandez?
Judge, she's approaching and she declined the services of public defender.
All right, Ms. Hernandez, do you have private counsel?
My husband told me that he acquired proper counsel.
All right, but you don't know who that person is?
No, I didn't know I needed a name.
All right, so, you are before the court today, ma'am, for one count of abuse of child with great bodily harm. And the court does find probable cause. And I'll state.
Your Honor, the state would ask for a $5,000 bond and no victim contact.
Does Ms. Hernandez have any priors?
No, Your Honor.
All right, the court's going to impose a $2,500 bond and no victim contact until further order of the court. Okay? All right, ma'am, good luck. Crystal Ivory,
She's approaching, Judge. She's here in Maine.
okay? Ms. Ivory is before the court. Count one is possession of cannabis, 20 grams or less. Count two is resisting officer without violence. Counts 3, 4, and 5 are traffic infractions not for magistrate. Count 6 is a felony violation of probation, and that has a no bond hold. The court does find probable cause. The standard bond on count 1 is $100 and will remain. And ma'am, you have court on Monday in your felony division. Good luck. Richard Locanto,
Mr. Lecanto, Judge, is here present. He's approaching, and he declined to serve as his public defender. Yes, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
all right, Mr. Locanto, you are before the court for battery on a person 65 or older. The court does find probable cause. State,
One moment, Judge. He changed his mind.
all right.
We're ready to proceed, Judge. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Your Honor, the state would ask for a $2,500 bond and no victim contact.
Does Mr. Locanto have any priors?
Just an old prior from 85, Your Honor.
Okay.
Judge, what did the state request? I'm sorry.
2,500,
And I believe he has no priors. Is that correct?
that's correct.
Judge, I'm going to be asking, considering this is his
Oh.
first time being arrested in his life. Excuse me?
No, they were saying that there's something from 1985.
Judge, I'm going to be requesting a $1,000 bond on his behalf. He says that he should have no problem paying that with a bondsman, but we're going to be requesting a phone order so he can access his contacts to call his friends and family to post his bond.
All right. As Mr. Locanto, though, has to understand that there's gonna be a no victim contact. Does he understand that? I believe the alleged victim is his wife, so.
Understand.
All right. So I will impose the $1,000 bond and no victim contact. Antonio Boss,
Mr. Bass is here. Main judge is approaching.
Mr. Boss, you're before the court for aggravated battery causing bodily harm is domestic, and count two is aggravated battery, and the court does find probable causes to those two counts. I'll hear from the parties in regards to bond.
Your Honor, the state would ask for $5,000 each count and no victim contact.
Okay. Does Mr. Bass have priors?
He has priors out of New York, Your Honor.
All right.
Judge, and speaking of Mr. Bass, he's looking forward to contesting these allegations. I did explain to him he will have his day in court. Today's not that day, but he is disputing these allegations, Judge. Having said that, he did tell me and assures me he's going to come back to court because he wants to address this. He's 57 years old. He's living here for over 9 years. At this time, his sole source of income is disability. He gets approximately $766 per month. Judge, my understanding, he does not live with the alleged victim. He lives separate and apart. He lives in Tamarack, an apartment that he's been staying in for about 2 years. The rent is about $750. He receives food stamps, and basically that's all he has to live on. So there's basically nothing he has to help post a monetary bond. So, Judge, my understanding is he has a contract with the system, but it's well over many, many years ago. So I'm going to be asking on his behalf $2,500 on each count, making it a total of $5,000 on his behalf. And I'm going to ask for the court to sign an order allowing him access to his phone.
All right, based on the allegations, which are that Mr. Bass used a black metal expandable baton and caused a laceration that required staples on one victim, and then the other victim, the court does find that a probable, reasonable bond is $5,000 on each count. No victim contact. Brent Fetterman.
He's approaching, Judge.
Mr. Fetterman is before the court for disorderly conduct, and the court does find probable cause.
Judge, and speaking Mr. Fetterman, he wishes to resolve this matter today.
Your Honor, the state would offer a withholding court cost.
Okay.
He wishes to accept the state's offer, Judge.
All right, sir, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Okay, you can put your hand down, and Mr. Fetterman, you understand everything that's going on here today?
Yes, ma'am.
Is anyone forcing you to resolve your case?
No, ma'am.
Are you under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
No, ma'am.
You understand that you have the right to go to trial, but by taking a plea today, you are giving up that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you ever been treated for mental or emotional illness?
No, Your Honor.
And do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, by taking a plea today, sir, it could subject you to deportation or immigration changes?
Yes, Your Honor.
What plea do you wish to enter?
No contest.
I accept your no contest plea. I find that it's freely and voluntarily given, and your sentence serves a withhold adjudication and court costs. Good luck. David Miller.
Bonded.
Christopher Stills.
He's approaching, Judge. You see our main thing this morning.
Is this correct that he has a no bond hold on a unlawful assemblies charge? All right. All right, Mr. Stills, you are before the court on, it's two misdemeanor capious matters. The charges are the same on both unlawful assemblies, and they both have a $100 bond attached to them. What do you wish to do today, sir?
solve your case?
To solve my case.
What was that?
I'd like to solve my case.
You want to resolve your case today?
Yeah.
All right. They're both municipal ordinance violations, so, Mr. Stills, if you wish to resolve your case today, you'll be sentenced to adjudication and time served. Do you wish to do that?
Yes.
All right, sir, please raise your right hand as best you can. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down. And Mr. Stills, is anyone forcing you to resolve your case today?
No.
Are you under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
I came in here for alcohol.
But right now, are you under the influence of drugs or alcohol? Okay?
No.
And sir, you understand you have a right to go to trial, but by taking a plea today, you're giving up that right.
Right, I understand.
And you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, by taking a plea today, it could subject you to deportation or immigration changes.
Right.
What plea do you wish to enter, Mr. Stills? Guilty or no contest?
No contest.
I accept your no contest plea. I find that it's freely and voluntarily given. Your sentence serves adjudication and time served on both counts. Good luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Christopher Barbary,
Paul Ryan, Your Honor.
okay?
Ma'am, he's downtown at court today.
Okay, thank you. We have to reset
You're welcome.
Mr. Barbary. Vanshion Warren. All right, Mr. Warren, you are before the court for a one count of grand theft, and the court does find probable cause.
Judge, at this time, nothing to add by the defense. I'm going to be contacting his wife right after court.
All right, the court does find probable cause, and your bond is $1,000. Good luck, sir. Andrew Hayes.
North Broward, I believe.
Andrew Hayes.
He's in North Broward.
All right, Mr. Hayes, you are before the court for count one, possession of cannabis over 20 grams. Count two is resisting officer without violence. Count three is fleeing with disregard of safety to persons or property. Count four is leaving the scene of a crash involving damage to property, and count five is reckless driving. The court does find probable cause. I'll hear from does anyone wish to be heard as to bond?
No, the state would ask for $1,000 on count three.
Okay,
I just spoke with Mr. Hayes' parents. They've driven down from Hillsborough. They couldn't make it here in time, but I will tell them what the bonds are,
okay,
and then they can see if they want to bond Mr. Hayes out of jail.
all right. As to count three, I'll impose $1,000 bond, and then one and two, all the other counts, the standard bonds will remain.
All right, I'm going to call your parents back, Andrew, all right?
Yes, sir.
Rafael Mendonca.
He's here approaching, Judge. Come on up, sir.
Sir, you're before the court. Count one is possession of methamphetamine. Count two is possession of drug paraphernalia. The court does find probable cause.
Judge, nothing to add at this time.
You think what?
Nothing to add at this time, Judge.
Okay. All right, did the state wish to be heard?
No, Your Honor.
All right, $1,000 is your total bond, sir. Maurice Moss?
Mr. Moss is approaching, Judge.
Mr. Moss, you are before the court. Count one is grand theft. Count two is uttering a false instrument. The court does find probable cause.
Judge, nothing to add by the defense. I'm gonna be contacting his wife as soon as I get out of court.
Okay. Does the state wish to be heard?
No, Your Honor.
All right, there's $1,000 on each count. Benjamin Sarmento.
Mr. Sarmiento, come on up, please. He's approaching, Judge.
Sir, you're before the court. Burglary, occupied structure unarmed. Count two is criminal mischief. Court does find probable cause. I'll hear from the parties as to bond.
Your Honor, the state would ask for $1,000 and a no return.
All right.
Judge, I'm first gonna ask the court to consider a straight ROR. If not, then $1,000. My understanding, this is his first contact with the criminal justice system. He's a registered voter here in our community. He's 21 years old, graduated from Hollywood Hills High School, class of 2016. He lives with his mother. His mother's a school teacher. That's who I'm gonna be contacting on his behalf.
She's actually
He's
right.
currently-
She's here.
Oh, she's here.
Yeah, she's right there.
Judge, he's going to be coming back to court. He's not a flight risk. He has strong ties. So that's why I'm asking if the court will consider releasing Mr. Sarmiento ROR on his birthday.
All right, the court is going to deny the ROR. I am going to impose a bond. These allegations are concerning. Mr. Sarmiento is alleged to, under pretense of being hired, going into a business and then using duct tape to cover the tape and causing damage. I find that a monetary bond is reasonable under these circumstances. So I am going to impose a $1,000 bond and $500 on count two. And no return to this location. Miguel Gonzalez.
Come, Mr.
Mr. Gonzalez is before the court. Count one is a grand theft. Count two is using an anti-shoplifting control device. The court does find probable cause.
Your Honor, he's currently on pretrial in case number 19004639. CF Tene, he was placed on pretrial by Judge Duffy on April 16th for grand theft and possession of cannabis. We're asking that you revoke his pretrial.
On April 16th.
Yes.
All right, state. As to the new arrest,
Your Honor, we would just ask for a no return
okay.
and standard bond. And the state would move to revoke bond.
All right, Mr. Romero, you wish to be heard?
Judge, he's 43 years old. He's a tattoo artist. He lives locally in Miami where he rents a room with his friend. He's been there for about 6 months. So I'd ask you to take his financial resources into consideration to determine reasonable release conditions for Mr. Gonzalez.
All right, Mr. Gonzalez was placed on pretrial April 16th, less than a month ago, on a grand theft charge and possession of cannabis, 20 grams or less. And today he is before the court for another grand theft charge and use of anti-shoplifting device. I am going to grant pretrial's request to revoke his pretrial supervision. Count one on 194639 CF10A, the bond is going to be $1,000. And then on count two, it'll be $500. And then the standard bonds on the new arrest, $1,000 on each count, will remain in place. Raymond Roach,
Bonded, Judge.
all right. Victor Pajols Martinez.
Mr. Martinez is approaching, Judge.
Mr. Martinez is before the court. Count one is possession of THC. Count two is possession of cannabis 20 grams or less. Count three is possession of drug paraphernalia. The court does find probable cause.
Judge, this is Mr. Martinez's first arrest ever in his life. He works as a dog groomer. He lives with his mom. His mom is a dog groomer as well. Considering this is his first offense, non-violent possession of THC, I think it's reasonable I'm asking for an R warrant on his behalf, Judge. If not, I'd ask you to leave the bond in place.
Okay. State.
One moment, Your Honor. Your Honor, the state would ask that you leave the bond in place.
All right. I believe you asked that the bond remain in place if I'm not gonna ROR him, because otherwise I'll put him on pretrial supervision. I guess he's not, okay, all right, then the bond is $1,000. Samuel Gonzalez,
Bonded, Judge.
all right. All right, we can start with the misdemeanor hearing docket. Michael Waters. Has the information been filed?
No problem, Your Honor.
Walters?
Waters,
Is it misdemeanor?
yes. No, it says arrest of 329 is what I have.
Judge, Mr. Waters would like to resolve these matters. He has a county sentence, and that won't end until he finishes SAP
Okay.
and life skills.
Okay.
Your Honor, information was filed on the 30th of last month. If he wants to resolve today, the offer would be an adjudication time served.
All right, Mr. Waters, if you want to resolve the case today, the sentence will be adjudication and time served.
Yes, I want to solve it.
Okay, sir, please raise your right hand. As best you can, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
Yes,
All right, sir, you can put your hand down. Mr. Waters, you understand everything that's going on here today?
yes,
Is anyone forcing you to resolve your case?
no,
Are you under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
no,
Do you need any more time to speak with your attorney?
no,
You understand you have the right to go to trial, but by taking a plea today, you are giving up that right?
yes,
And have you ever been treated for a mental or emotional illness?
no,
And do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, that by taking a plea today, it could subject you to deportation or immigration changes?
yes,
Okay, what plea do you wish to enter, sir?
no contest.
I accept your no contest plea. I find that it's freely and voluntarily given, and your sentence serves adjudication and time served. Good luck. Cambrell Morse.
He's approaching, Judge.
All right, Mr. Morse is in for a second look on his bond status. He's got $25 bond, but he also was on a violation of probation, no bond hold. Yes. He posted the bond, the $25? All right, all right, so. Delete, your bond has already been posted. Jennifer Parker,
North Broward.
and Ms. Parker's, back for a second look. What, I don't know, how much bond does she have? Did you say 500? Okay. So what's the status? Is there other things?
No, there's nothing else, Judge, but she has the money, but her family has the money, and I'm not really sure exactly what's going on, but apparently she can't get a hold of the $500 that she needs to bond out.
Does Ms. Parker have any priors?
Not that the state can see, Your Honor.
All right. I will release Ms. Parker to pretrial supervision with random testing.
The state would also ask for no alcohol, no intoxicants, and no driving.
Right, and ma'am, I'm giving the information that the deputies just handed you.
Yes.
On Monday, you need to report to the pretrial supervision office. If you don't report, a warrant will be issued for your arrest. Further, I am ordering you no alcohol or intoxicants, and you also will be subjected to random drug testing. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right, good luck, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right.
Pretrial office before.
Okay, as to the felony hearing docket, we have Kenata Selassie, bonded, and Adam Paris.
Mr. Parrish is here present. Come on up, sir.
Mr. Paris. Mr. Paris has $5,000 bonds. Did he have priors? I'm sorry?
Nothing in the record.
I don't know, Mr. Paris was, I don't, if you say there are no priors, I don't remember, but
Outside Broward, he has.
I know that, he was found standing in the, victim's foyer. He took shoes from the residence, do we know?
Looks like a 2012 resisting, Your Honor. Resisting without.
I'm sorry? I didn't hear what was said.
I'm sorry, a 2012 resisting by disguise. And
Judge, he did advise me he has a place to reside, so we're gonna ask for pretrial release.
All right, if he does have a place to reside, I'm gonna put him on level 2 GPS.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you need to make sure you report, sir. Failure to, well, they're gonna come over to fit you for the GPS. All right, Michael DeLosa.
Mr. Delos is here, present, Judge, I mean. Judge, we were here before you a couple of days ago. I didn't request anything. Mr. Delosa gave me the phone number of his daughter. When I contacted the phone number, unfortunately, the phone number was not working, so maybe, Mr. Delosa, maybe he got it wrong, but unfortunately, there's no one that's going to be able to post his bond. He lives locally here in Fort Lauderdale by himself. He does drywall for a living. My understanding he has prior contact, but it's been about over 10. The judge, considering this is a nonviolent charge at this time, I'm going to be asking for the court to consider releasing Mr. DeLosa on pretrial release.
Your Honor, the state would ask for level 2 pretrial.
I'm sorry, I cannot hear you.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, level 2 pretrial.
Okay. All right, I will release Mr. DeLosa on level 2 pretrial supervision. Tyrone Salters.
Salters.
All right, Mr. Salters was arrested on April 30th, and it looks like he has $1,750 total bond. Is Mr. Salters being held on something else?
No, he's not, Judge. Unfortunately, from what he told me, he was working, but he was laid off, and right now he lives with his cousin, but no one's posted his bond, Judge, so he's asking to be released on pretrial release.
What are Mr. Salters' priors?
Your Honor, he has, that's the oldest. 2018 resisting without and a trespass, 2018 resisting without, 2017 driving while license suspended, 2017 petty theft, 2015 battery with a VOP, 2013 trespass, 2011 aggravated battery pregnant female, 2010 no valid DL, 2007 unlawful use of a false name and driving while license suspended, 2005 delivery of cocaine, 2004 resisting without violence, 2003 uttering forged bills. I'm sorry, that was declined, Your Honor. 1999 escape, 2000 battery. Nope, that was null pros. 2000 delivery of cocaine with a VOP. And 2000 introduce contraband into a detention facility.
Our court's gonna deny the pretrial request. The bond will remain in place. All right, Roy Edison.
Mr. Addison is approaching, Judge. Come on up, sir.
All right, Mr. Addison's got $1,000 bond on a possession of cocaine. All right,
I'm going to be asking the court to consider releasing Mr. Addison on pretrial release and with random drug testing. My understanding, Judge, in reviewing the PC affidavit, and this is something that I confirmed with Mr. Addison, he was on his way to work to Burger King. He works at the Burger King at Sawgrass Mall. He went to his friend's house because his friend was going to go with him to the mall. On his way to his friend's house, his friend got into an argument with his mother, and then basically police were called. Now, Mr. Addison had nothing to do with this, nothing to do with the domestic situation, and when police arrived, for some reason, which is not in the PC affidavit, they proceeded to go ahead and detain Mr. Addison and place him in cuffs and proceeded to search him. Now, I know the PC affidavit said, well, the cops just asked if he had any drugs, and Mr. Addison voluntarily said, yes, I do, and gave him the narcotics, and then gave a post-Miranda statement. Even by the PC affidavit, he goes ahead and is cooperative with law enforcement, tells him as far as what's in his possession, and then gives a post-Miranda statement is cooperative with law enforcement, Judge. Now, he lives with his friend in Sunrise. He's been working at Burger King for the past 6 months, making $8.50 an hour. He's been here his whole entire life. He does have contact with the criminal justice system. But, Judge, I'm asking you to take into consideration the facts of the case. If this is a nonviolent charge, and he probably didn't have any duty to give law enforcement anything as far as any sort of statement, according to PC affidavit, he did. So I'm asking the court to consider releasing him on pretrial release.
All right. Does he live with the same friend who it's alleged that he was holding his drugs for?
You know, the gentleman that got into the dispute with his mom, they lived totally separate. He went over there, and actually his Burger King uniform is in his book bag, which is still here in property.
All right, Mr. Addison, I'll release you to pretrial supervision with random drug testing. And you may not, I don't know if it's true, but the allegations are that you're holding drugs for someone. So if that happens, you'll be in violation of the pretrial supervision. So pretrial with random drug testing.
Bless you.
Doris Gutierrez.
He's here approaching.
All right, Mr. Gutierrez has 2,000, 2,100 total bond. What's the story with Mr. Gutierrez?
Judge, I'm going to be asking for a phone order at this time.
All right, I'll sign the phone order.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, and he has a total bond of 2,100. All right. I believe that's the end of the dockets. Did I miss someone?
Look, Brown, John, we have one young lady that's on the docket, but she didn't come. She refused to come.
Well,
Northman,
well, you know what? Her name is not on. What docket was she on?
she was an add-on for the second look.
Oh, I didn't have that, but then she refused, so we'll
Yes.
delete that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, everyone, have a good weekend.
Hold on 1 second. Mr. Reedy, that's the one that Dorfman, that she's never been magistrated. She's been here for a while.
Well, I don't have the paperwork. No. I don't have the clerk's paperwork. Okay? All right.
Judge, on that, Ms. Dorfman?
Yes.
No waiver appearance.
Well, the clerk doesn't have the paperwork. Can you, Mr. Dante, is there a way for you to, yeah. Do you have? Right. In order for us to do it, we need the paperwork. Well, yeah, but, the clerk doesn't have the paperwork. We need the paperwork to do the magistrate. Any police report? All right, hearing nothing, then I can't do it today. They need something, there needs to be something.
Do we have a case number or anything? Nothing?
I say she's in bad shape. She's in bad.
Oh, boy. Oh, here's the, booking report. I don't know if that'll help. All right. Okay. I gave him a copy. I gave him a copy.
Here you go.
All right.
Start the process. Right. Since January, so I should be the next one.
Oh. All right.
Solomon. Judge Schiff.
Yes, ma'am.
It was one of the ones where she continued to be reset, so Eric asked for PC to be found
Okay.
and to bring her back for bond purposes. But when that happens, because PC was checked, finding goes in the file, what I think happened, she needs to be brought back for bond purposes.
Okay.
So unless she makes it to a second look,
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna fix that right now. No, but that's what I need to impose.
it's a $25 bond.
There's a, oh, so why do we need to bring her back for bond then?
Unless it was.
It's a $25 bond. We'll leave that in place. All right? And then that will fix the record. All right? Okay, thank you, everyone.